So there's a lot of reasons why it's important. And this was just a study that was done by Harris Interactive. It's a little bit old, 2007. But it was asking patients, why do they stop taking their drugs? And what would help them about why should they take their drugs? And a lot of them are concerned because they were concerned about AEs. They're concerned about, is this safe or not? Well, we know in this day and age, FDA is a lot more conservative about what they approve. And unfortunately, because of the media, because of television, because of internet, there are a lot of very good drugs that were taken off the market. And I'm sure everybody knows personally or has heard stories of patients that were on Vioxx that don't do as well on other products. And it's unfortunate that we haven't, as an industry, done a good job managing some of that risk because everything has risks. You get in an automobile, should there be a fair balance on the door that says, before operating this vehicle, you know, there's a risk that you might get in a car crash and you might fly out the window and die. But everything has risks, including taking our drugs. And if you understand the risks, you can also understand the benefits of why you're doing that. So what I love about the internet, and this is a great group of speakers, so I really commend i4Pharma and Maria for putting this group together. I've been speaking on the internet, and there used to be a room of about 25, 30 people where we would talk about, in 2000 and 2001, engaging customers and what the internet could be. And now you see at a conference here a live tweet going on. But we're evolving. And what's excellent about this is the cost is very, very manageable. And the returns on what you do are fantastic because you can target appropriately and you can make your investment work for you. So what I want to do is I want to share a couple of the tactics and online that we've done with some of our drugs. And what we've done with all of what you're going to see is we've engaged with patient associations because we believe that there's an active way to work together with patient organizations who represent the patients that have these diseases and with us as a biotech manufacturer. And just as a kind of a fair balance, EMD Serono, we make biologics. Everything we make requires an injection. So it's not as simple as taking a pill a couple times a day. You actually have to inject. So what I'm going to show you first is about growth hormone. It's a very crowded market. There's 7 approved growth hormones out there. And kids have to take a shot every day for 5 to 7 years. So how you engage a child in taking a shot and understanding why it's important for them is something that we've tried to do in a very interactive way. And we've worked with one of the companies that's exhibiting in the next room. And this engagement is important. So within any of this, you can go in, and this was a flash email that was sent out, and it talks about one of the features of an electronic injecting device that we have called EasyPod. In this case, we have a built-in calendar feature. So parents can check their kids to make sure, did they take their shot that day? Did they take it for the last couple days? A lot of times, parents want the child to interact and give their own shots. And so this is one way that they don't have to check up on their kids by saying, yeah, did you do it, did you do it? They can actually look at the device and see if it was done. The device is a computer, and it tracks compliance. So when you go back into the doctor, you bring your device, and the doctor can download the information and be able to print out and put into a chart or download it right into a chart the last 3 or 4 months of the compliance history. So what we've seen from a case standpoint is it's amazing because doctors will tell us, oh, this one patient that I had I thought was very, very compliant, and it turns out they missed 8 doses in a month. Well, that's going to mean that it's going to have an effect on how they grow. What we also did with the same kind of, it's a patient e-detail. We wanted them to see how easy it was to engage with the device. So we created this e-detail where the patient can do a mock injection, and it shows you how easy it is to do an injection every day. You put the needle on. You can't hear the beeps, or maybe in the front row you can hear the beeps. But the device beeps. It tells you, OK, your device is ready for injection. Click on the EasyPod. You put it up to the skin. And this has skin sensors. So it doesn't work on fur. There are a lot of dogs and cats that are really bulked up from growth hormone. The skin sensor will only work when it's skin. So a parent, a kid can't shoot the needle into the toilet or into one of their pets because it's got to be up on the skin. The injection is very simple. A needle comes down, gives the injection, goes back up. Then you detach the needle, and at the end, it confirms that you took the dose. The dose is preset. It's very easy. You don't have to think about dialing doses or changing doses. And then what you see on the device is it tells you your last injection was done on this day at this time. So it's a very nice way for us to engage in interacting with parents and with kids on this device. This is another product that we have called Serono for HIV wasting. And with Serono, what we wanted to do is, again, we wanted to engage patients with HIV and increase the awareness level around HIV wasting. So this is our campaign. He's not the man he used to be, he's wasting. Well, how do you identify wasting? So again, through this e-detail, which is delivered to patients, it asks you, of these people, who of these people are HIV wasting? Who could be experiencing wasting? And so you look at it and you say, okay, well, I don't know, they all look the same. Well, the answer is they all could be. Could you be experiencing HIV wasting? And this is going to jump forward. It's not going to go through every screen in the interest of time. But then what we do is we engage in a conversation with them about healthy eating habits, about exercise, about how you can ask physicians these questions. Are you very tired? Are you losing weight and you don't want to be losing weight? A lot of times a patient will come in and they get weighed every time they go into an HIV physician. And in our society, everybody thinks losing weight is great. Well, if you're HIV positive, losing weight is not a good thing. It actually, many patients lose weight and they don't want to. They can't keep the weight on because they're wasting. So it's ways to identify it, and the doctor will think, oh, the patient must be on a diet, this is great, they're losing weight, when in fact, they never bring up the discussion that they're concerned about the weight loss. So another way for us to engage our patients through, in this case, age service organizations or patient advocacy groups. The last thing that I want to cover is about our fertility product. We have a fertility drug. And in this market, the blogs are amazing. You can see that on average, a fertility community participant goes to 6.4 different communities, and they each have about 2,500 members. The power bloggers have an influence of 16,500 people are reading. Remember that 1%, 9%, 10, 90%? Well, here it is. So we did this survey with some power bloggers. And what we did was we actually found that they want information, just like you heard earlier. We are a source of credible information because we make the product, and we have access to physicians. So what did we do? We created a program online where we took one of the key opinion leaders from Cornell University and made this a very private web chat. So it was only open to these 15 or 20 bloggers, these power bloggers that we invited, and they went through an educational slide deck that was approved by the physician, and then we're able to do a Q&A. So we basically, kind of like a peer-to-peer roundtable, when you do speaker programs, you bring in a doctor, an expert, and you invite doctors to dinner and you speak about it. We did it online. Instead of doing it with physicians, we did it with power bloggers. And we did this so that we could give them credible information. We could answer questions that they had through this source. And what we found was, in the research, these bloggers were so excited to be able to get their questions answered. What's also kind of scary is none of these people are physicians, nurses, PAs. They're just general people doing this, tweeting or blogging or talking about what they think without having any training or experience. There's so much bad information out there. And there's a lot of myths and facts, especially around infertility. So they were so excited about getting this credible information from one of the top opinion leaders in the country. And then in building this kind of dating scenario, we gave them some information, we shared stuff back and forth with them. They said, oh, absolutely, I'd be willing to share a coupon with my blogosphere. I'll put it on my site. If you can give me money-saving tactics, coupons, websites to help find an IVF center near me, web chats to hear more about this, I'll post that on my blog. I'll send it out. I'll do this. I'll do that. So this engagement and dating was, we didn't do it in the first date. We didn't go out and say, OK, you're a key blogger. Here, use my coupon. We wanted to engage them. We've opened up this dialogue of back and forth discussion with them so that they see, one, we can be trusted, that we're not this evil empire just trying to drive patients on our drugs. We do want patients to be treated well, and we want them to be able to understand where they are on the journey and how to get the best care so that at the end of the day, in this case with fertility, they have a baby.